guys, so I've wanted to do a video on this for a while. So recently, about a month ago, I purchased this, a 98 C5 Corvette with 300,000 miles on it. Now most people that hear that are like, you're crazy. But I just wanted to do the video showing what the car was and what I'm planning on doing with it, and I think I got a freaking bargain for it. It's a fantastic car. I love driving it. Like I said, I've driven it for like a month and a half, but it has been my absolute favorite car. I grew up on a Camaro, and I've had a Trans Am and motorcycles and trucks and everything, but so far I'm a Corvette guy. I never thought I would be, but I am. And the funny thing about being a Corvette guy now is now I have a wife with a baby on the way, so it doesn't make the most amount of sense, but what can I say? What can I say? Okay. So the first time I saw the car, I came up to it. It was hiding behind a couple of diesel trucks, and I couldn't help but notice as I was coming up to it, these humongous ZR1 wheels sticking out of the side of the fender. And I asked the guy, I was like, does these have ZR1 wheels on it? And the guy's like, I don't know. I'm like, all right. Next thing I notice, come over here, I see Borla on all four tips. And I asked the guy, does this have Borla exhaust on it? The guy's like, I don't know. All right, let's check this thing out. So we hop in, we start it up, and I can't help but notice a few engine lights are on. He told me that it had overheated and that he immediately took it off and trailered it home and hadn't touched it since. He wasn't sure if it was the water pump, thermostat, whatever. Right around this area, there were some very obvious signs of radiator fluid that had splashed out onto the engine bay. And so, of course, I thought to myself, it's either a radiator or radiator hose. And then, as soon as we started driving it, there was low coolant lights flashing, and it did get pretty hot pretty quick. But it drove just fine. And so, I pulled the trigger. The guy was super nice. He was the best guy to purchase a car from I've ever had to deal with. A couple weeks later, after I had purchased the car, he drove like 30 minutes away just to give me a spare key. Really stand-up guy. He also trailered the car to my house for free at no extra charge, which was awesome. The few things that are wrong with this car are, like, for one, this little mirror's busted. That's busted. It's cracked and it doesn't stay put, so it's always down on the ground, which is no big deal. Now, the other thing that is wrong with the car is the seat. Obviously, it's got a tear in the seat right here, in 3 places, and then the passenger side's got a little bit of tearing as well. Now, the other problem with the interior is over here on the door panel. After 300,000 miles, it ripped a hole in it. So, but again, I'm daily driving this. I don't care. Do we spill milkshakes in it, Del Taco, whatever. It is a daily driver. But the whole car has been completely repainted. At one point, it was this very disgusting orange. And whoever did the paint job before me did it very well. They took off the panels on everywhere. They did the door panels on the inside of the doors. And they really did a good job. A good, nice, clean paint. There are some rock chips on the front, but it's a daily driver, and I bought it for so dang cheap that I just love it. It takes the stress off of driving it when you don't have to worry about rock chips. So the biggest reason that I was okay with buying this car with 300,000 miles on it is because the previous owner, from the guy that I bought it for, he said he traded his Jeep for it, and the guy before him rebuilt the motor. And so at 200,000 miles, so a 100,000 mile engine motor train, great. So the transmission has very obvious signs that it's been completely rebuilt. The whole thing's a different color. It's been completely painted. And the biggest thing, personally, is the transmission acts like it's got a high stall in it too, because it'll sit there and vroom, vroom, up until 2,000, 3,000 RPM, depending on which gear you are in. So I think the transmission's been rebuilt too. And so obviously whoever had this before the guy I had it was their baby. Now, I'm not particularly fond of the frog headlights, but I will say that better miles to gallon at night and better headlights at night really help out. I'm really actually quite grateful for those. And they did this really nice paint match over the top of it, and I think it looks really good. Usually this whole thing is just black and it just looks out of place, but this really ties it up and makes it not look too much like a frog. So the other funny story is when I got it, there was this cracked bumper and it was chipping paint all over, and the guy before me actually had hit a bunny going 120 miles an hour. Cheap old me just got some AutoZone paint and colored it in so it wasn't black. But honestly, for the price that I got it, I'm pretty happy. This is gonna be my daily driver that I drive, every day to work. So I'm really happy. I don't have to worry about rock chips because the bumper's already messed up, and I got it for so dang cheap that I don't give a crap. But it's got Borla exhaust, ZR1 spec wheels. I don't know if these are OEM, and I don't know if these are replicas, but they are indeed the ZR1 spec. They are the exact size of the ZR1. So you're probably wondering how much I got this thing for. So originally it was priced at $4,000. He said first 4,000 takes it. And I got there, I offered him up $3,000. He was like, nah, that's a little bit too low. And he met in the middle at $3,500. So the other expense with buying this car though is that I did have to fix a radiator. That was the only thing I had to fix on the car to make it completely drivable and in perfect condition. And so that cost like $160. But I walked away with a C5 Corvette with 300,000 miles for $3,500. And I am freaking stoked about it.